And this afternoon's team news: Everton and Newcastle United, the two teams playing this afternoon. There in the centre, Newcastle United have Martin Thomas in goal, Neil MacDonald at 2, Kenny Wharton at 3, Jeff Wrightson at 4, Peter Jackson at 5, Glenn Roeder the captain at 6, Paul Stevenson at 7, Andy Thomas at 8, Paul Goddard at 9, Peter Beardsley at 10, Darren Jackson at 11, and welcoming him back after injury, Ian Stewart. He is the number 12 this afternoon for Newcastle United. And you'll notice the one change: David McCreery still has that groin strain, so Jeff Wrightson, the captain of Newcastle United reserves, comes in at number 4 for David McCreery. And there is the Newcastle United substitute, the mascot rather. He is 10-year-old Andrew Henderson. He comes from Throckley. He goes to Headon First School, and his hobbies are athletics, especially running, and football. And his favourite footballer, who else? Peter Beardsley. There, young 10-year-old Andrew Henderson. And across to the Everton side, the famous blue shirts and white shorts. They have Neville Southall in goal, Gary Stevens, the England fullback, at 2, Neil Poynton at 3, Kevin Ratcliffe at 4, Dave Watson at 5, Paul Power at 6, Trevor Stephen at 7, Adrian Heath at 8, Graham Sharp at 9, Alan Harper at 10, and Kevin Sheedy at 11. Their substitute is former Grimsby player Paul Wilkinson. And in the centre of your picture now is the Everton mascot. He, like Andrew Henderson, is 10 years old, and his name is Paul Stewart. He goes to Warrior Street School in Roker in Sunderland. He is an Everton supporter. His hobby is football, and his favourite players are Adrian Heath, Neville Southall and Graham Sharp. So for young Paul Stewart and for Andrew Henderson, a day to remember alongside their favourite players on the pitch at St James Park. And there in picture, the three match officials. The referee today is Ken Lupton from Stockton. He has been on the referees list. This is his second season. He was appointed in 1985. And with the yellow trim flag, that he's shaking hands now with Glenn Roeder. That's Alan Snowden from Middlesbrough. And the other linesman on the referee's left is Barry Miller from Redcar. He has the red trim flag. And there the picture of the two captains, the three match officials, the two mascots in the centre, just before this very, very important match gets underway. The photographs having been taken, the preliminaries are over. The linesmen dash away to inspect the goal nets. Referee Ken Lupton shaking hands with the two captains. Kevin Ratcliffe for Everton and Glenn Roeder for Newcastle United. So the match will begin with Newcastle United attacking the Leazes end. That's the goal away to our right, the goal away to our left rather, as Newcastle are attacking that goal. There, going through the picture, is Neville Southall, the Everton goalkeeper. And the fans from Everton, there's a considerable number of them behind Neville Southall. And it's Everton who will get the match underway. And away we go on prompt 3 o'clock. Everton the first to break, but Jackson heads away. Neil MacDonald plays it short for Stevenson. And that's Young Jeff Wrightson getting his first touch of the ball, and it's back to Martin Thomas. Jeff Wrightson, the reserve team captain for Newcastle. There's Paul Goddard, fouled by the Everton skipper, Kevin Ratcliffe. The first free kick of the match in the first minute going to United. Kenny Wharton, and wins the throw for Newcastle United. Kenny Wharton takes the throw, Beardsley back to Wharton, away by the Everton defence. And Peter Jackson letting that one go into touch. Just 3 men at the back at the moment for United. Peter Jackson across for Roeder. Roeder to MacDonald. MacDonald a long one, finds Goddard. And Goddard's touch just too strong for Paul Stevenson. Neil Poynton throwing in for Everton. Adrian Heath. But Newcastle on the attack. Ratcliffe away by Poynton. Adrian Heath again for Everton. The ball out now with Gary Stevens. Stevens, the England fullback. Trevor Stephen into the centre. Jackson heads away. Kenny Wharton. And that's Paul Goddard. A great ball for Peter Beardsley. Picked up by Thomas, but away by Everton, but offside against Adrian Heath. Quick free kick taken by Glenn Roeder. Waves Neil MacDonald upfield. Stevenson does well to keep it in. Peter Beardsley going through, typical Peter Beardsley style, going at the Everton defence. But Alan Harper loses out there, and the ball, rather fortunately, finds its way back to Neville Southall. Alan Harper for Everton, so long a substitute, but finding his place now regularly in the Everton lineup. Southall clears downfield, flicked on by Heath. Sharp, Sheedy, breaks down Roeder. Peter Beardsley, and just too strong there. Glenn Roeder coming all the way through, but Southall gets there. So Southall clears, flicked on, miscue rather by Sharp. Glenn Roeder, and Peter Beardsley almost finding a way through there, but Gary Stevens has it for the Lancashire side. Chips it forward, looking for Sharp, lays it off to Heath. Heath, a shot, it's a chip on, and it's just gone past the post. And it's Everton who've had all the shots at goal so far, although it's been very much an end-to-end match. Martin Thomas. Dave Watson, former Norwich player and England. Neil Poynton into touch. MacDonald to Peter Jackson. Roeder. Sharp challenging, Roeder clears. A good long ball for Goddard. The ball hangs in the wind. That helped Goddard rather, but the defence got the ball away. Roeder, ball loose, so forward come Everton. Gary Stevens. Trevor Stephen. Stevens. Watson. Sheedy. Watson. Beardsley racing for this, but out comes Southall. Sheedy. Chance, but a great tackle there by Glenn Roeder. Saved a very dangerous situation. And the old also found Peter Beardsley. Now the ball across into the Everton penalty area. Just as well, there were defenders in depth there. There was a missed kick, but now Everton coming forward. Gary Stevens all the way through, but the ball through for Kevin Sheedy, much too far. So Martin Thomas about to take the goal kick. That was the head of Kevin Sheedy. But now it's Peter Beardsley who can't control that ball. So Poynton will take the throw. Sheedy. Harper into the centre, but Harper picks up the loose ball. Good interception by McDonald, but the pass not so good. It's nobody forward though for Everton, and Glenn Roeder has plenty of time to let it run to Thomas, who now finds Kenny Wharton. Andy Thomas turned well, helped on by Goddard. Now Kenny Wharton again. Harper, Sharp turns well, he's forward. Beaten low by Peter Jackson. Poynton for Everton. Sheedy doesn't control it. Roeder picks up for Newcastle. Goddard. Beardsley. Gary Stevens. Stephen. Everton keep up the pressure. Poynton into the centre, but only Sharp there for Everton, and that ball with the wind goes out for the goal kick. Neither side yet fully settled down. Too many passes still going astray, as Glenn Roeder has the ball now for United. Away by Dave Watson into touch. McDonald again. Beardsley going forward. Testing Radcliffe for speed, gets round Radcliffe, but covering was Dave Watson. The ball went away into touch. But a free kick has been given against Radcliffe. Worried there by Peter Beardsley, which McDonald has come up to take. Goddard in the centre, Peter Jackson's come up, so too Glenn Roeder. The ball found Jackson, swung away by Kevin Sheedy, and sharp breaks for Everton. It's Heath rather on that far side. Faced by Kenny Wharton. Good ball to Harper. Harper inside, and this should be Everton's first goal. It is, it's there. It's Heath rather on that far side. Faced by Kenny Wharton. Good ball to Harper. Harper inside, and this should be Everton's first goal. It is, it's there. Latched neatly on to Harper's inside ball. And it's Everton in the lead now by 1-0. The goal scorer, Paul Power, once of Manchester City. But that one safely enough through for Martin Thomas. Now McDonald. Neat piece of play there by Neil MacDonald. Looks for Peter Beardsley down the Newcastle United right. It's Stevenson on the far side. Stevenson beats him on, beats Poynton and wins the corner. Stevenson himself to take it. Into the centre, good corner. Jackson! Peter Jackson up there with the attack, but Southall in good position. So now Southall. Heath against Rhoda. Rhoda wins. But again, the ball only finds an Everton player, Sheedy, forward by Poynton. Rhoda lets it run through to Thomas, who finds MacDonald. Peter Beardsley, back to MacDonald. Wrightson takes over from Peter Beardsley. And the ball in touch for an Everton throw. Taken quickly by Poynton. Poynton gets the return. Sharp, inside for Trevor Stephen. Sheedy, across to Gary Stevens. Gary Stevens wins, but Wrightson picks up for United, and that's another bad ball from United. Chasing the ball all the way is Poynton. The ball just runs, and Peter Jackson able to screen the ball out for the goal kick. Just had the legs to go out for the goal kick. Martin Thomas. Off the head of Ratcliffe, cleared by Watson. Peter Jackson finds Darren Jackson. Now Newcastle have the chance to break. Peter Beardsley on the left. Thomas wants the ball played inside. Beardsley tried to do it, but the defender stopped it. This time Beardsley gets it across, and Thomas almost got there. MacDonald hesitated a vital fraction of a second, and now Everton breaks through sharp. But covering is Peter Jackson. Neil MacDonald, mindful of the fact that there's been one costly break down that left-hand side for Everton, hesitated a vital moment. Now Rhoda to Goddard. Paul Stevenson. Goddard did well to keep that ball. Back to Stevenson. Another interception for Everton. And a good one through for Adrian Heath, who was just an inch or two offside. Quickly taken by Rhoda. Andy Thomas. Beardsley. Challenged by Trevor Stephen, and Stephen fouls Peter Beardsley. And Beardsley's kick was from the wrong place. So Kenny Wharton takes it instead to Peter Beardsley. Beardsley forward, finds MacDonald. Jackson, a good challenge by Harper, and then back to Southall. Flying header away by Peter Jackson. Into touch. Gary Stevens. Back to Stevens. Gets the ball across goal. Gary Stephen. Harper into the penalty area. Away by Rhoda, who is fouled. Everton, always a battling side. Good build-up. Into the last 5 minutes of the first half. Still that one Everton goal dividing the two sides. Ball given away there by Rhoda. Everton, a drive there from Trevor Stephen rather, but well wide. Referee Ken Lupton in the centre circle, just having a look at the watch. You'll see that there are 4 minutes left in the first half. MacDonald, Stevenson. Now United break. Paul Stevenson does well. He resists one challenge. He's beaten by the second, and now Everton get the ball away. Sharp. Good head, good flick inside. Gary Stevens. Beats Darren Jackson. Sharp it is in the centre. Away though by Wrightson for Newcastle, but that's Neil Poynton on the ball for Everton. Forward for Sharp. Sheedy. Heath. Sharp. Oh, and offside. against Trevor Stephen. It looked as though Trevor Stephen was in the clear. Stephen, disappointment on his face as he looked towards the linesman. But now Darren Jackson gives the ball away for Newcastle. Gary Stevens. Sharp. Darren Jackson. Glenn Roeder. And Martin Thomas. Watson got that ball away for Everton. Ball driven forward again. Peter Beardsley challenging Gary Stevens, but Stevens... Trevor Stephen, disappointed to see that one run away into touch. Kenny Wharton. Ball back from Roeder. Back to Roeder again. Roeder forward. Gary Stevens, Trevor Stephen, and into touch. Kenny Wharton, Peter Beardsley, nice turn by Peter Beardsley, looked for Goddard, but the pass too strong. Southall. Sharp against Peter Jackson, Sharp wins, and through was coming Paul Power, but it went through to Thomas. And Martin Thomas rather angrily waving the defence away. He wants the ball upfield. Wrightson, back to MacDonald. Radcliffe. Picked up by Andy Thomas, Paul Stevenson, Paul Goddard. And an unfortunate one there. The ball not controlled properly by Newcastle. And Neville Southall picked it up. Paul Goddard rather disappointed there. Into the last minute of the first half. So Neville Southall clears. Sharp. Roeder rather put off by that challenge. And again Newcastle United lose it. A shot for goal, and just as well that Thomas was behind that shot from Trevor Stephen. Now it's Paul Stevenson. Long drive, looks for Peter Beardsley. Beardsley it is who gets there. Beardsley turns. Goddard. Shot by Goddard, beaten away by Southall. That was an instinctive save by Southall. Now Wharton. Oh, and that's a bad ball by Wharton. And Gary Stevens can just wrap things up by giving it to his goalkeeper. The hand goes across the chest of linesman Barry Miller. Ken Lupton blows the whistle. The first half comes to an end, and on reflection, I think Everton probably just about deserved to be ahead. The goal came in the 23rd minute following an Everton break down the left. The ball was played across, and Paul Power just got the vital touch to give Everton the lead. Newcastle have come back. Peter Jackson was unlucky to see his shot cleared off the line, but the score at half-time, Newcastle United 0, Everton 1. So the second half about to get underway, and no doubt William McFall will have told the United defence to tighten up on this passing, which was not too good in the first half. And the atmosphere builds again as Peter Beardsley has the ball at his feet, ready to get the second half underway. Newcastle, of course, a goal down. And Goddard out to Kenny Wharton. Radcliffe. Advantage played as it looked as though there was a foul on one of the Newcastle men. Wrightson tried to get that ball away, but now Sharp, beaten by Kenny Wharton. That's better by Kenny Wharton. Peter Beardsley trying to wriggle his way through. Now Heath. Finds Trevor Stephen on the far side. Good challenge though by Darren Jackson. Newcastle. Again, not a very convincing clearance. But Paul Power couldn't stop that one from going into touch. So McDonald takes the throw for Newcastle. Goddard. Good play by Goddard to find Andy Thomas. Peter Beardsley racing after this one to hustle Gary Stevens. Wins the ball as well for Newcastle. Good cross by Beardsley. Paul Stevenson. But the defender did well to prevent the Stevenson cross. Throw quickly taken. So Paul Stevenson again. This time the ball is across. Paul Power. Harper through the middle. Easily cut out though by Peter Jackson. Kenny Wharton. Andy Thomas for the overlapping Neil MacDonald. MacDonald into the penalty area, away by Radcliffe. Sharp picks up. Driven away by Neil Poynton. And a Newcastle United throw off the foot of Graham Sharp. So Neil MacDonald. Peter Jackson, Roeder, turns well to deceive Heath. Peter Beardsley, Goddard, Beardsley into the area. The shot might have been on target, but Dave Watson did well to snuff out the danger. This is better from United, but Everton clearing on this occasion. But Heath, the only man upfield, gets there too. Now Newcastle again, Beardsley. Still Beardsley. Stevenson. A shot for goal, well blocked. Goddard slips as he tries to get round his man, and Gary Stevens brings the ball away for Everton. And Everton almost giving that ball away, but Adrian Heath. On the overlap comes Paul Power, but Heath turns inside. There's a gap opening up for him as well. 1-2, but the return ball from Sharp, badly played, and it went straight through for Martin Thomas. Goddard flicks on. Dave Watson only finds Roeder. Roeder going all the way. Roeder, oh, he missed kicks as he got through the ball, and in fact Glenn Roeder's legs stopped that Newcastle attack from developing. But they do have the throw, and they do look a lot better in this second half. Certainly when they're going forward. But having said that, that was another one of those bad passes, but United have opened very brightly in this second half. But Southall about to take a goal kick for Everton. United have the wind in this second half. Attacking the goal to our right, the one at the Gallagher end. Watson clears. Shaw and Heath there, but so too was Shaw. And that's a free kick. And play on, in fact. No, it wasn't a free kick. The two players shake hands, so no animosity between them at all, which is always good to see. MacDonald turns in a complete circle, finds Stevenson. Goddard.